Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Welcome back, gang, to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. I've made my book deadline so I can breathe a big sigh of relief. After watching over 200 TED Talks over the last few months, I feel like my head is going to explode and don't want to watch another one for at least 6 months. I'm going cold turkey on TED Talks. It's official. So let's get the show back on the road. And I think I've got 12 podcasts booked in next week. But don't worry, I will only release one a day. But I just need to fill my hopper up again and get a week ahead so we can get back to releasing one episode per day at the same time every day. But a big thank you to everyone that's put up with my somewhat sporadic releasing of episodes over the last few weeks. But regular listeners will know that we do try and tackle a different industry or a different tech trend every single day. And today, I want to explore the world of MarTech, or marketing technology. And Robin Alex is an expert in marketing and IT software tools, and recently asked me if he could come on and talk about some of the trends, and I happily obliged. And Robin is the founder of a company called Innovate Fast, and with over 20 years of experience in the technology and marketing industry, he sounds like the perfect person to talk about how marketing automation is changing, what automation tools are actually good for businesses to use, and actually when to use automation tools. And maybe, just maybe, we can get some practical strategies and learn a lot more about automation too. But enough from me. Buckle up and hold on tight so I can beam your ears all the way back to the US, where Robin Alex is waiting to talk with us all about MarTech automation and much, much more. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little more about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, my name is Robin Alex, based out here in the States in Dallas, Texas. I actually have a marketing agency called Innovate Fast Marketing. We're a full-service agency, and we specialize quite a bit in the medical space, so working with med spas, plastic surgeons, and cash-based practices, as well as in the education space, so daycare, childcare centers, charter schools, public schools, and private schools. Along the way, we've picked up other industries as well, but those are the two that we specialize in. On top of that, we also have created a piece of software called Go High Level, and I'm a partner in that. And it's a marketing automation tool that we serve to other marketing agencies. We launched it earlier this year. We just passed the 500 agency mark of clients, and through that, we've served over 7,500 small businesses.
Now, as the founder of Innovate Fast, you've got over 20 years experience in the technology and marketing industry. And first of all, I've got to say, you've got an incredibly young sounding voice for a man that's had 20 years in the business.
Yeah. I started at a young age. I just turned 34 last month, actually. But I started at a young age and, was always in technology with computers. My first business was playing video games online, and I turned that into hosting game servers. And through that, launching a business at a young age, it was all about figuring out how to market yourself and get out there. And internet marketing space was significantly different that long ago versus where it's at today. So I've been doing quite a bit and kind of learned the ins and outs along the way.
It's fantastic. It really is. And in that journey, you've, of course, witnessed the rise of MarTech firsthand. So I'm curious, what are the biggest changes that you've seen technology add to marketing throughout your career?
Yeah, I think the biggest change that I've seen is, first, there was the revolution of just being able to do pragmatic advertising online. And then it was, okay, we can get very analytical with it. So now data became the biggest source for marketing. And then that's where, you've the Cambridge Analytica situation, all the issues with Google and Facebook having too much data. But now it's, I think people are taking a step back and trying to figure out how to become as personal as possible through conversation and through advertising. Through that, of course, there's only one person or, a few people that can handle that leveraging it at scale. And so now it's about automating it. And that's where I think AI and, that whole evolution of marketing is really transitioning over the next couple of years.
And what about marketing automation? I mean, how are you seeing that evolve at the moment? Because there's a lot of excitement in that area, isn't there?
Yeah. I mean, marketing automation and AI go hand in hand, right? I think with the tools of AI, they're getting smarter and better. And so you can almost have from every single stage, from just putting an ad out there to generating leads to getting prospects to converting and closing deals, for service-based businesses or even selling products online. It's how can you become personal with the buyer or the consumer without having to lift a finger. And so automation along the way is the key to be able to pull that off.
So there will be a lot of business leaders listening all over the world. So I've got to ask, is there any advice that you would offer about how and when to use automation tools? Because I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all model, is there?
Yeah, it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all. The way that I would start with any business is making sure that you have a system in place and understanding all the different phases of a business. If you're a service-related business, generally you're looking to figure out a way to put advertisements or get your exposure in front of the right people, be able to collect leads out of that, and then take those leads, making sure that you can turn them into a prospect. Have an engaging conversation. That conversation should lead to an appointment. Then from there, that appointment, you need to make sure that they show up to the consultation. Once they're at the consultation, it's how can you get them to close? Right. So those are kind of the biggest phases. And if you break it down that way, you can figure out what are the steps to get and complete each one of those phases. Once you feel like you have a solid process or system in place, that's when you roll back in and say, okay, we need to scale this, put gasoline on it. So now let's put automation so that we can now work on the next phase.
Now, like me, you must read a lot of news stories and catch things on your news feeds and social media timelines. And you're going to read a lot of stories that probably frustrate the hell out of you. So are there any myths or misconceptions on marketing automation that you could lay to rest today?
Yeah. One of the biggest things, I think there's this weird misconception about, are you being too invasive by reaching out to leads or prospects? Maybe you feel like you're texting them too much or emailing them too much. And I do think in some cases that is true, but for 98% of business owners, the ones who have that mentality of, we don't want to send messages because it's too much or it feels like it's too much, you're probably not sending enough at all. And so I would probably push you to the limits, because what you think is too much is probably the right amount of messaging and touch points that you need to have with your prospects and leads. Because ultimately, they probably are not searching between multiple providers of services or, looking to buy many products. And so if you're the only person reaching back out to them, you have a higher chance of closing and selling them on whatever you want them to purchase from you.
And at Innovate Fast, I would imagine that you do exactly what you say on the tin. And innovation and creating innovative environments, there's so many talking points around that and the best ways of doing it. But do you have any use cases or client stories of how you're actually helping customers innovate fast?
Yeah, one of the big things that I really believe is that, technology, the social platforms and how people engage with each other changes very quickly. And so a lot of times we're having to move, following the wind of where traffic and where ideal audiences are really sitting at. And so when we talk about what we've done with clients and things like that, we've taken small businesses, generating, US, under $500,000 and taking them well over, 7 figures very quickly, just following our simple model of putting proper exposure out there in front of the right ideal audience, making sure that we're running advertising, paid advertising, and being very strategic with that without a high budget, collecting leads, and then with our system through high level, making sure that these leads are being processed and that we're watching their journey to making sure that the business is closing deals and opportunities. For us, our mantra is that if we're able to help our clients figure out this system they're able to serve their community far greater than what they were doing before. And so it's a win-win for everybody.
And as someone that's right in the heart of this space at the moment, are there any big trends that you're noticing, and especially in the kind of requests that your clients are coming to you and asking to your help with? Are there any trends there?
Yeah, right now, Facebook and Google from a paid advertising side are still the, big gorillas that's out there. But I think there's a big movement towards, some of the other platforms, YouTube, as well as Snapchat. Those are really top platforms that are very inexpensive. I mean, you can advertise on YouTube for, a penny or half a penny a view. Right. I mean, and so if you think about that, commercials on TV, you can spend thousands and thousands of dollars, just to get to 100,000 views. On YouTube, you can spend $100 and be able to have that sort of engagement and power to the right people, and not just a shotgun approach of just trying to spread and try to capture everybody. So I think from an advertising space, that those are kind of the channels that I would be, looking at for newer businesses. From a automation and engagement standpoint, I really think it's, text messaging and messenger bots are probably the two highest things that we're seeing. I mean, it's about how can you get as personal and as close as your ideal client as much as possible. And those are really the two biggest channels that you have.
I'm going to ask you to look into your crystal ball now a little bit and say, how do you see technology further transforming marketing over the next few years?
I think over the next couple of years, we'll see the personalization of communication just continuously increase with social media. Businesses, traditional businesses that you just don't expect being on social media, companies like General Electric or companies like Nike, or these worldwide brands that don't really have to be on social media per se, but they're on there, and it's going to continue pushing the envelope on how close they get to their consumers. Now you can literally tweet any business that you do, that you're a client of, literally tweet them, and they have dedicated staff that's reaching back out to you directly and trying to resolve your problem, which was unheard of years ago. And so I think we're just going to get closer and closer to that, and you'll see more automation, helping to solve that problem overall.
Yeah, it is really a really interesting space at the moment. I had a guest on recently talking about Apple, and Apple, of course, are on Twitter. They don't follow anyone and they never tweet, but they're actually using the platform for sponsored postings and things like that. And there's so many different angles of using social media and advertising and marketing, isn't there? And without even making a single tweet. Yeah,
it's amazing how, a lot of it's just thinking outside of the box, right? And being able to leverage and being able to resonate with your clients. And, I think it's just not thinking the platform for what it is, but what is the possibilities on what it can do.
Absolutely. Well, a huge thank you for coming on and sharing your story with me today and talking about some of the big tech trends around MarTech and automation. But for anyone who wants to find out more information about Innovate Fast and the kind of work that you're doing, can you just point them in the direction of your website, your social channels, and how to contact your team if they have any questions?
For sure. So our website is innovatefast.com. You can check us out on any social media platform. Just search Innovate Fast Marketing. And, we have a vlog on there where you can see behind the scenes on what we're doing and all that. If you'd like to chat with us and learn more about, what we do as an agency, you can go to customerrush.com and book an appointment with us. It's a basic website with a calendar on there. And from a marketing automation perspective, you can check out our website at gohighlevel.com. And that's the software application that runs our agency backend, as well as what we offer to other marketing agencies who are looking to streamline their clients' communication as well as their own.
Excellent. Well, I've really enjoyed chatting with you today, Robin. And I can't believe that we're 8 months into 2019 already. So we're already going to be preparing for MarTech Trends 2020 soon. All them stories are going to be flooding our news feeds soon enough. So I'd love to get you on a little bit later on in the year, and we'll go through some of those. But more than anything, just a big thank you for coming on today.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me, Neil.
Whatever Robin was drinking there, I want some of it too. I mean, to have 20 years experience in the technology and marketing industry and still sound so young and youthful, that's worth kudos on its own. Now, I know this is a technology show, but I want to ask the question, do we have any marketers or MarTech fans listening out there? if we do, it's your time to step up and let me know what you thought of today's conversation. And my email address is always open to you all. It's techblogwriter@outlook.com, and my website is techblogwriter.co.uk, where you'll also find links to social channels, how you can work with me, and all the other stuff. You know the drill. But as we're racing to 1,000 episodes, I still find myself thinking of how we're going to shake things up after that episode 1000, and maybe having a giveaway and finding some way that I can give something back to you loyal listeners for sticking with me for 4 years and 1000 episodes. So do you have any ideas around that? Again, let me know. But that's it for today's episode, I'm afraid. So a big thank you for listening. And until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.